Mikey Williams just went head to head against Emoni Bates, and man, this was a fire game to watch nonetheless. Now we're going to break this game down. Now first and foremost, like I told you guys, Emoni Bates and Mikey Williams are two of the top prospects in the country regardless of class, and everyone knows Emoni Bates coming into this is probably one of the best players, if not the best player in high school basketball. And then you have Mikey Williams, who honestly I think he has the most clout in high school basketball. Clearly on social media, he has millions of followers. And Emoni Bates is a little bit more low key, but these two going head to head was a great game to watch. Now, Lake Norman Christian actually ended up taking the W 68-64, but that is definitely not to say that it wasn't a tough game for them to come across and get that W. Now, first and foremost, I had to mention this. Man, Emoni Bates was not even playing the full game. He actually ended up coming off the bench, which was very interesting. Like I mentioned earlier in my previous video, Emoni was actually dealing with an injury, and it seemed like a face injury, but Emoni Bates actually ended up having 22 points, while Mikey Williams had 19 points. And both of these guys had a number of assists. Now, Mikey had 4 rebounds and 5 assists, while Emoni had 10 rebounds and 4 assists. So these guys were clearly getting their teammates involved. But man, like I said in my previous video, and I predicted this, Lake Norman Christian is going to have a tough time guarding Emoni Bates, and this was nothing different than I expected. Now, to be honest, I don't think anyone on the court was guarding Emoni. Emoni seemed like he was just killing from the three-point line and really shocked a lot of people on the court. He was really getting buckets out there, and Lake Norman Christian had no answer to guarding him. Now, on the other hand, Mikey did hold his own, and I think really proved himself as being one of these top high school players and showing that he's not just here for clout, and he actually has a lot of talent. Clearly, a lot of times people always say Mikey Williams is overrated, but I think holding his own in this game showed that he can play with the best of them, especially against Emoni Bates being the #1 player in the class of 2022 Michigan State commit. Man, that is the game to show out, and Mikey did do that. Now, one thing I have to say first and foremost, it was tough for Lake Norman Christian to get their offense going, and the reason being was because Ypsi Prep was playing a whole lot of zone. Whenever teams do end up playing zone, it's tough to get your offense across because you really can't move the ball too much and really dribble as freely as you normally would if they were playing man-to-man. So that's kind of what slowed Lake Norman Christian down, but they still ended up playing well, and I have to give it to Trey Green. Trey Green hit one of the biggest threes in that game to help Lake Norman Christian actually win the W, and I was surprised. Honestly, I think a lot of times people don't give Trey Green that credit that he deserves, but he was getting buckets out there too. And also, in addition to that, man, Emoni's three-point shot was ridiculous. I think Emoni really showed how deadly of a jump shot he is being that tall. Not only that he could dribble the ball, but that he's really efficient with it. And man, the majority of Emoni's shots were really going in. So I think he really proved why he is one of the best players in the country, if not the best player in high school basketball. Now, one thing we do have to give Emoni Bates his credit here. Coming off an injury, dropping 20 points, and although his team lost the game, man, he really showed out and clearly shows the reason why he's one of the best out here. If you're coming off injury, odds are you're probably not going to play as well and might end up, maybe dropping less points or really lacking in a certain area, and that could hurt your team. But for whatever reason, even though he played less minutes, man, he still had more points than Mikey Williams. But at the end of the day, they both played great. Now, we are officially going to have to say Mikey Williams is playing against competition. Anyone who's making an argument really cannot say Mikey Williams plays against no comp. Of course, he just dropped 19 points and caught the W against Emoni Bates, and you have to give him credit where credit is due. And for sure, we do give Mikey Williams that credit. Now, I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below, how do you think these two players perform? Do you think Mikey Williams is better than Emoni Bates, or which one of these guys do you think is better? And their overall teams as well. They both had a lot of great players from both teams that showed out, but let me know which team you thought was better and why Lake Norman Christian got the W at the end of the day. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, on the other hand, someone else just played a huge recruit, DJ Wagner. Now, DJ Wagner, of course, is the #1 player in the class of 2023 playing in New Jersey, and this guy is a bucket. But in his second recent game, he actually had 29 points and 5 assists. And it's crazy how DJ Wagner's name kind of goes under the radar compared to a lot of these players. When we look at people like Mikey Williams, man, even Bronny James, a lot of these other guys, we hear every single move that they do. But then when it comes to DJ Wagner, he is a little bit more silent of a player. And a lot of people didn't even know he just dropped 29 points and that his season had even started, which it's really interesting to look at the comparison between these these two types of players. Now, like I always say, Mikey Williams is someone who likes to be the face and likes to really show out either on social media or wherever he's at. He likes that attention, while DJ Wagner seems like he's a little bit more low-key and really stays off the internet, and there's nothing wrong with either way that you go. But man, it's really crazy how the difference between California and where Mikey was from and New Jersey and how they operate a lot differently. Now, when rankings do officially update, it is going to be very interesting to see how they do pan out. Now, of course, Mikey Williams beating Emoni Bates' team is for sure going to affect the rankings because Mikey Williams played against really good competition. And of course, DJ Wagner does play against great competition as well. And I guess we'll see. Who knows? Mikey Williams may end up actually passing DJ Wagner if he plays enough competition and does well enough. But at the end of the day, DJ Wagner is clearly not letting his foot off the gas, because if he's dropping 29 points and 5 assists, man, he is really dominating the competition. But not only that, getting his teammates involved. And that's something with Mikey Williams that I see. He doesn't always do that. Sometimes he likes to force up shots and really doesn't always work to get his teammates shots and get his teammates in the game, which can be a really bad thing. When you move higher levels, if you go to college and even in the NBA, if you're not that tall and you're going to be some type of guard, you need to be able to get your teammates involved and not just be a scorer. For example, when you go to college basketball, the scorers there are going to be a lot better than the ones that you played in high school, as well as the defenders. And being a guard that is not pass first or really thinks they can do it all by themselves is not going to work out well. Look at someone like Julian Newman, for instance. Now, of course, he is a score first guard, and you clearly see how that's affected him over time. At the initial stages when you are younger, you're able to shoot the ball a lot more and really things work out. But the farther you go and the higher competition you play, it is a lot harder to play that type of style and really not getting your teammates involved. A lot of these point guards tend to be score first, but at the next level, you really need to be able to do both. Be able to score the ball, of course, and get yours, but get your teammates involved as well. And I think that's something that DJ Wagner does very well, and sometimes Mikey Williams does struggle with, but for sure, he got his assists in today. Now, in addition to Mikey Williams playing well, I think this can bring a lot of eyes to Overtime's basketball league. Of course, Mikey Williams may, quote unquote, or may not be the face of Overtime's new basketball league. And man, if Mikey Williams gets even higher in the rankings and more people are seeing him, and even if you saw at the game that he was playing at today, Emoni Bates and Mikey Williams, DaBaby, the rapper, actually pulled up and saw and watched their game. So I think the popularity, notoriety that Mikey Williams is getting is just going to funnel right to Overtime. And who knows, maybe we will see a lot more of these highly recruited guards end up going to this league and leaving high school basketball. But of course, that is a drastic move. And like I said previously, only about 1/3 of top high school prospects are actually even interested in going to this league. So I guess we will have to wait and see what these players end up doing. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this matchup? Who won the matchup, Emoni Bates or Mikey Williams? And let me know why they won in the comments down below. And also, DJ Wagner, do you think DJ Wagner is better than Mikey Williams, or do you think Mikey is better? Let me know in the comments down below. And make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications to get a new notification every time I upload a new video. Selling H and I'm out.